Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to Imperfect Harmony, coming to you live on FM Tragapan only at 103 megahertz, straight from the heart of Akashvani Kohima. And this show is more than just music. Well, it is about the voices with purpose, stories with meanings, and journeys that inspire. And this evening, our guest reminds us that you do not need bright city lights to make a strong impact. Sometimes, the most powerful voices rise from quiet hills, deep faith, and real life experiences. From Fitzroy Town carrying stories of struggle, belief, growth, and hope. This young artist has turned life experiences into lyrics that truly connect and inspires. Known for his honest writing, explosive stage presence, and music rooted in personal truth, he stepped into the spotlight with Nimok Power. Well, a track that made waves and earned him Song of the Year at the Music Award of Nagaland. And since then, his journey has only grown stronger, reaching with audiences both within the state and beyond. This evening, we take a moment to sit with the story behind the music, the journey, the fate, the fire, and the future. Ladies and gentlemen, settle in and stay with us. It's time to welcome ZT Slingshot to Imperfect Harmony. Hello and welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. Looking forward to have a great time.
All right, so before we go anywhere else, let's start with your name, Slingshot. I am super curious to know the meaning behind this word, Slingshot. It's very unique. So what does it mean and why did you choose this particular name?
So when I first started rap music, every artist has this special ability to name themselves. So I was looking for an artist name and I was Googling and then doing a lot of researches. And what clicked and then what came to my mind, Slingshot, was also an inspiration from the Bible, from the fight, from the battle of Goliath and David, where David uses his sling shot to kill Goliath. And that's fate for me. And ever since, I've been inspired to name myself Slingshot and then fight life with faith. And along through the journeys and struggles, through the love and the grace of God, that's what has inspired me to name myself Slingshot.
Wow, that's beautiful and that's powerful way to look at it, I would say. A slingshot may be small, but once it releases, it does go far, right? So, such a beautiful name. Okay, so tell us, what is Zuchoko Tetsuo behind the stage name ZT Slingshot?
Behind the stage, I am quite a funny guy, weird guy, and I love to do a lot of things. But beside music, behind the stage, I do a lot of things, planning events, weddings, birthday parties, and I do a lot of sports. So I am more of a multitasking guy besides the stage or behind the stage.
Right. In short, we can say a multi-talented guy right here in our studio with us. And so talking about roots, you were born and raised in Fitzroy, right? Yeah. So when you think of home, when you think of Fitzroy, what comes to your mind first?
One thing that always comes to my mind first when we say home, it's always my mom. I'm more of a mama's boy. Lost my dad back in the year 2019, and ever since, when it's home, it's always mom. So that has been a huge inspiration for me. And then every time I miss home, it's always going to be my mom.
That's beautiful. And you know what? When I was listening to your song, I personally can see that we can actually feel the sense of home in your music, which is just so beautiful. And so did you, did growing up in a small town make your journey harder or stronger? And in what way?
A lot of struggles. It's not only just recording. We lack a lot of resources out there. There were no producers. There were no sound engineers out there. And it was a struggle. I started with an Android phone and taking tutorials from YouTube, learning how to write, learning how to produce music. And later on we'll discuss, but that's how Nimok Power also came into being.
Right.
And with the kind of resources, I tried to make various kind of contacts, through in and outs from Kohima, Dimapur, and probably Manipur also. I reached out to some certain producers. I got rejected by some few. But shout out to Rijoli Sanctum He's the Naga beats. He's always been there, and then he's been providing a lot of resources. I just record my vocals on my phone, and he does the magic. So, yeah, a lot of things, but those are some few, struggles from a town where like less resources are, very limited.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So before rap, music started for you in a church, right?
Yeah.
So how did that journey begin?
It started in Sunday school. We were the last batch. I was in my 12th standard. And there I performed an opera song. Not necessarily I will say that I was classically brought up, but I took some vocal trainings, few workshops, and I did an opera song in the Sunday school. From there, my passion for music was planted there, I guess.
Right.
And ever since, I ventured out to the youth, the CYE, which we called. I was a volunteer out there as an usher. And from there, I was also introduced the praise and worship team. So the church gave me an opportunity to be one of the praise and worship leader, and I led the church, the youths, the praise and worship team for almost about 3 years. So I was naturally, and then with how God has planted the seeds, I was introduced first to music through the church, the gospel, and slowly I ventured out to Mysore in the year 2017, and there I was beatboxing as well. And shout out to one of my sisters from Manipur. Her name is Agi Manailu. Okay. So I'll just take you along the journey how it started.
Yes, please.
So 2017, I was there in Mysore, and then it was Christmas Eve. One of my friend was entrusted to sing on the Christmas Eve night. Right. My friend, he requested for me to beatbox and then for him to sing. So we tried, and then we sang on the church, and our sister Agi, she saw us performing. We were completely strangers. We met on the NCF, and she also introduced herself later on. And after which, she also went further by enrolling myself into a beatbox competition in Mysore that was hosted in Teresian College. I was so reluctant to move out there, perform, because I was just a beginner at that time. So she just gave the form and then called me up, and then I just went and then performed, and then luckily and gracefully I won the championship again there in Mysore. So to every champions, be it singing, dancing, different kind of categories, out there it's more like an hornbill event. Right. So it's more like a selection to the bigger event. So I was lucky that I performed, I think it's called Tollywood. So I got to perform in front of the actors and actresses. And there was a group called MYS3. It is a rap crew. I was called up on the stage. I was made to do the freestyle. And they were rapping, and then rap was planted on Mysore. And ever since, I started, taking lessons from YouTube. So that's how the musical journey started for me. How it was introduced and planted.
Wow, that's beautiful. As you are sharing your story with me, I'm just, a mental picture was being created, and I was just enjoying your story there. Anyway, that explains the calm confidence in your music for sure. So, yes, I've got many more questions to ask, and I'm pretty sure our listeners are curious to know more about who is ZT Slingshot, and definitely we'll get back to it more. But I think it's time we go for a short musical break. And yes, my dear listeners, we're going to play a song that's a favorite of ZT Slingshot. It is said that, you can get to know more about a person from his taste of music. So here I present to you a song, a favorite of ZT Slingshot. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is indeed your Imperfect Harmony happening live right here at your one-stop. It is your FM Tragapan, only at 103 megahertz. And we are live straight from the heart of Akashvani Kohima. And as you and I, we both know, we have a very special guest with us, a multi-talented young artist with us. He's none other than ZT Slingshot. So without any further ado, let's get right back to our interaction from where we have left. We'll start right there. So yes, Slingshot. Can I call you Slingshot?
Yeah, sure,
All
sure.
right. So when did hip hop culture start to feel like something you truly connect with?
It started in the year 2019 when I lost my dad. Um, the love for hip hop music was planted back in the year 2017, like I've said earlier. But why I really wanted to pursue music, why I really love hip hop, is because the lyrical ability, the storytelling, telling. When I started writing song, when I started composing songs, I tried various kind of genres. But to me, as along the journey, this hip hop has really, you know, made a way for me to fully express how I want the song to be or how I want the story to be. So eventually, like hip hop, that's how it was imprinted. The storytelling, I find it more convenient to express what I felt, what I've lost, um, and to a deeper connection where like I've written tons of songs in a rough copy. So in order to all those come to life, the best way for me or the best options that I had was hip hop music. So that's how it came into being. Yeah.
Right. First of all, sorry for your loss, and I would say, that really sounds like a turning point. I mean, the right people at the right time matters a lot for us, no? And also, environment plays a big role. I mean, from everything started to shift, when you are at the right environment. So I would say environment plays a big role too. Anyway, what's your greatest strength? I would love to know, like, what's your greatest strength? How does it help you as a rap artist?
Back then, I tagged this as a curse, losing my dad. But now, like that's one of my biggest strength. When it comes to my dad, it always gives me a sense of like responsibility. The pressures that I get, the family pressures, me being the eldest. But I guess if my dad was alive to this day, if I think if God hasn't taken his life or like take him away from me, I might be out there doing something else. I might be wasting my life. So a lot of thinking, a lot of like reflection that I do. So when people ask me what's your biggest strength, it will always be my dad, and that's one of my major inspiration, one of my major sources of like strength. Every time I get depression, anxieties, a lot of pressures, sometimes I hate myself for being that, blaming myself for not being there when actually I was out there, and then not being there for my dad when he was sick and stuff like that. But now I realize, as a Christian, with the faith that I have, I think God took him away for a reason. And slowly, as matured as I am now, I am realizing all those to strengthen my ways, to strengthen my mental thoughts, to control everything, the responsibilities, the pressure. So I'm proud of myself for handling them so well now. So that will be my greatest strength, source of strength, my father.
Right. Listening to your stories, your struggles, your inspirations, your strengths and all, I think when I say this, I'm saying it on behalf of all the listeners who are listening it right now, that we are proud of you too. It's such an inspiration and we are really proud of you. So why is writing from personal struggles so important to you? I know you have said a little bit, but I would love to know more about it.
First, before we get there, people think that Nimok Power was my actual first official song, but like I've said, I was there in Mysore and then I was shifted to Delhi.
Right.
And when I was in Delhi, I made a song. I collaborated with a producer. He's from Shillong. I made a song called Gold Digger. It was very cringe,
okay.
and to this day, I've made the song very private. But the song talks about like the F bombs, the B bombs. I thought when I started using all those B bombs, F bombs will make me a cool rapper.
Right.
So I started with that, but eventually, like it all comes to the storyline now. After losing my dad, everything changed. So I want to depict a cleaner version of hip hop. So my storytelling, I don't. Back then, I feel very like insecure telling my personal stories. And I don't even want to let it out. I don't want to gain sympathy from people, gaining attention, telling my testimonies like I'm like this. I have a sad family. My life is like this. Back then it was all, no, don't do that, don't do that. But then I realized that I need to let people hear my side of story, that I've struggled this, and not only be, I know that somewhere out there is going through something like this. So I felt the need that I need to tell my stories in a cleaner version without using any kind of slangs, F-bombs. So that was how I got inspired to let out my stories.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that honesty helps people feel less alone,
Exactly.
right? And music becomes more than just entertainment when it's real and it's true. So, art. You have said that artists like NF, Eminem, and Tupac inspires you. So, what did you learn from them?
I also take a lot of inspirations from them. The rebellious side of Eminem. NF was also a drug addict. Eminem personal relationship with his family,
Right.
daughters, mom, dad, and all those like also come to my rebellious era. And NF also talks about his personal faith as a Christian, and also talks a lot about his drug addictions. Tupac also talks about life. So with all the mixtures of ingredients of mixtures of inspiration I take from them, I also take that back into my life and reflect it back to the listeners. Yeah.
Right. Talking to you, hearing the side of your story, listening to your music, it's just inspiring, to not lose yourself and be
exactly.
still here. No, it's just beautiful and inspiring, I would say. So we have been, from the starting, we have mentioned two words continuously, I would say, Nimok power.
Yeah.
So I think it's time we talk about it. So let's talk about Nimok power. What inspired you? How did you wrote I know you have, but then let's talk more about it. Please enlighten us with the Nimok power, the story behind the Nimok power.
It's gonna be a long, very long story. But Nimok power was actually meant to be a sarcasm, a sarcastic way of approaching people, not to make fun of the tribe. I'll take you to the journey. So it started during the lockdown era. My friends were going out to a farm. His name is Ato. So he was calling me out to go make sukharuti.
Okay.
So, back then, as we all are locked up, we are quite bored at home. So he decided he'll go. But at the same time, during the period, I was also working for the Chakasang Women Welfare. So we had works. So before 12, I was not allowed to go by my ma'am. So I told my friends to go ahead, and later on, if time permits, I'll tag along. So as time went by, I was working in the office, but my friend came back because there was an emergency that he needs to bring a file to the EDC. So he told that he'll pick up the file, come pick me, and then go to the farm again. So I was actually not planning to go, but I'll always tell this as fate. God always plants the right people, right seeds at the right time. Right. So I think that was also a turning point. I was not actually planning to go, but then my friend came back, and then that work happened, and then we went. So a funny thing is, me as a Chagasang, I'm also Chokri again, and then we, the Chokri, are known more to consume more salt than the Kesha people again.
Okay.
So I think that I don't know how far that is true, but to some extent, it is also true. Three of my friends, the Kesha, we were cooking the sabji. The other two were making sukharuti. So we actually had spoons to take out the salt and stuff like that. But one of my friends, by mistake,
Okay.
while he was pouring the salt, half of the packet went into the curry. So I didn't see, but when the time came for the testing, I was made to taste first. It was too salty to a point where I got a headache.
Okay.
So I was jokingly saying, this is why people called Chakasangan Kabolen Nimokai. So all those came into being, and I told them that for better or for worse, as I go home, I'm going to make a song on a song called Nimok.
Okay.
I went back home, did my wash up, went straight to my bathroom, and I used my bathroom as my studio back then.
Okay.
So I was writing the song in English. So the title was actually Nimok. But then I thought why not make something else? I finished writing the song in English, but I felt very incomplete. So I'll just start the song with Nagamis. But Nimok alone sounds so empty. So why not Nimok power? Chakasan Nimok kakarne bishi tanas nagi. All those myths and different kinds of comments that we get. So I was thinking I'll make this song not to make fun of the tribe, but as a sarcastic way to accept what people call us. Every tribe has its own uniqueness.
Right.
I'm not saying that Wichagasan Nimok Khali Ekla Khai. So it's not that's how Nimok came in a way. But out of fun and out of sarcasm I made the song, and then I didn't upload on my YouTube channel. Had no promotions back then. I just shared on my WhatsApp group, my friends. And then the next morning when I woke up, I got a lot of calls, especially I use Facebook. So I got a lot of DMs. And also the groups were like going viral. Then people were calling my friends, cousins from Kohima, Dimapur. They were all calling, your song is like that, like this. We're so proud of you. And after that, Song of the Year came again. So it all happened, out of the blue. And to this day, I'm still amazed how all that happened. Yeah.
Right. You know what? As I'm listening to your story, first of all, I was so curious to know itu Nimok power do kutiwa likhishi kina ahishi, and then you cleared it out for me. So thank you for the story. I love a good story. So yes, thank you so much. And also when I'm listening to you, I'm reminded of this Bible verse, Romans 8:29, which says, all things God works for the good of those who believe in him. And from the beginning, as we have started our interaction, I'm reminded of that verse again and again. I mean, how beautiful and how inspiring your story is. And also coming back to Nimok Power, the song clearly changed things for you. I think we can say that,
Yeah,
no? Right. So what do you want people to understand from Nimok Power today?
Not to just only understand, I see it myself. Back then, Nimok Power, when people say that Nimok, Sorambi hoi jai, it felt like an insult. But after the song came out, it's more like a slogan now. Especially, I've seen like the Nagaland Olympics, I guess, or was it Dr. Tiao, but people were shouting, screaming Nimok Power when the Pack District team were playing. And also when my friend, my brothers, the wrestlers especially, people were chanting, shouting Nimok Power, and it made me very complete. And I'm so satisfied, in a way, like so satisfied, so proud. Back then, people take this as an insult, but now like people are like wearing it as a proud tag. So that's all I can say for that now. Yeah.
I think, in other words, we can say it like people connected because it was honest. Okay, so winning song of the year. Let's talk about that now. So winning song of the year, what did that moment mean to you?
The church prayed for me. That night we were practicing for the Golden Jubilee, the church Golden Jubilee, and the youth were practicing songs. So we had a tea break. Just before the tea break, the youth director came on the stage, and then he also informed the youth members that I'm also nominated. The results will be out. Let's all pray for him. So a prayer was made for me for the nominations and stuffs. And we were just, after that, we just went had tea break. The choir was normal. We finished our songs. And in the middle of the practice, the result was also like, since it was COVID, we can't have like formal music award ceremonies. It was announced online.
Okay.
So I went to the sound booth for the rap category. I was hoping that, because I didn't nominate myself for the song of the year and I had no like knowledge about awards, and I was waiting for the rap category. It came out and McNeville won. And that year, the rap. So after that, Song of the Year was announced at the last moment, which I had no hope. So I just switched on, turn off the data, went back to the song practice. And after the song practice, many of the friends came, did you win? I said, no. Somebody else won. So I just came back home, and then the whole family was having our dinner. And then one of my friends called me up. Congratulations, Ziti, like we're so proud of you, like like lots of like excitement, happiness. And then my best friend called me again. I was so like shocked, I didn't believe. So my best friend called me up, and then he says, I didn't believe I didn't nominate myself for Song of the Year and stuff like that. So I don't think I got it. No, it's been like delivered at the last of the video. So he downloaded that video, sent it to me through WhatsApp. After seeing that, I believed. So I screamed like a child. Me being the eldest, I screamed like a child. My best friend came around 9 p.m. We were hugging, and then outside we were rolling on the floor.
Wow.
So that's how excited we were. But that was once in a lifetime moment that I felt. Um, it was all unplanned, but it all came with the grace of God. Yeah.
Right. Indeed, there's a saying that the power of our hard work and prayers never go unnoticed or unanswered. And then I think you're a living example of that. So, success can change people quickly, but you seem to be so humble, so grounded, without any efforts. I mean, how do you balance it? How do you stay grounded as you grow?
People often called celebrity. Friends often, out of jokes, they also called like celebrity hui jaisi ajikali to lot of comments. But one thing that I always, not that I always pray every morning, every night, every day, but as a Christian, I also do say my prayers and I ask God to always humble myself. But that has like eventually disappeared for almost 2 years. Last year and then previous year, I kind of got distracted. Too much attentions, and then too much of like fame. I'll say I'm not saying huge like people, but with the little fame that I got, I also got a little bit distracted on the bed. So a lot of temptations came in, and then a lot of backslides happened, and I think fame also, like, if not careful, like can really change a person.
Yes.
And I've been talking this to my youth director. We have a close connection. And one of my associate pastor, we always have a close connection. And I'll just take you along the stories. Performing in bars, parties, that's what I do. One thing is, I never grew up drinking alcohols. I'm never into those stuffs. But people often misjudge me for that because I go perform on parties and then perform. Thing is, I go perform and come back. But along the way, we as a human, we also get distracted along the path.
Right.
So I was telling and sharing this. With these fames, I also get a lot of temptations. I see stuffs where I shouldn't be seeing. I do stuffs where I shouldn't be doing. So along this way, I also felt so guilty. And this fame also has changed me along the way. This year, I also decided to be more professional, to be more humble, to do things more low-key, and see what the future holds for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Really, my dear listeners, if I'm pretty sure you are also, having a great time listening to ZT Slingshot, sharing his stories. It's such inspiring, I would say. And also, he's just taking us to his life journey, which is beautiful. I've said this, but I love listening to good, inspiring story. And that's what Slingshot is doing right now. And we'll continue with that. He will continue to inspire us. He will continue to take us to his journey. But for now, I think it's time we go for a short musical break. We gotta give our guests some time to breathe because they get non-stop there's a story after story. So let him take a water break. In the meantime, we will be taking a short musical break. Well, yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You are tuned into FM Tragopan only at 103 megahertz, straight from the heart of Akashvani, Kohima. And this is your Imperfect Harmony with the one and only, the super talented, the young artist. It is ZT Slingshot with us. And without any further ado, let's get back to the interaction once again. So ZT Slingshot, this time let's talk about live performances. So I want to know, what goes through your mind before you step on the stage.
Coming to live performance, I always love to set the stage on fire, being explosive. That's what I mostly do. People pay me to come and perform. So whether 10 or 5 people turn up, I always give my 100% so that it can leave a good impression on them. And the next thing is I want to leave people for more, the hunger for more for me to come back and perform. So that is one of my major goals while performing on the set. Being explosive, interacting with the audience is also one of my keynotes that I keep in mind. Having a relationship while during in and outs the performance, in and off the stage. So the way I interact off the stage and on the stage is also totally different again. When I'm on the stage, the Ziti Slingshot side of me, automatically comes out.
Right.
And the other times I also interact them verbally to have that intimate relationships. It's sometimes cringe for me to say fans also, but I'm grateful for that also. But
Right.
to meet them, greet them, talk to them, to have that intimate relationship also builds more confidence for me when I'm on the stage, because people have more vibe, more connection on the song, even without knowing the lyrics. So my live performance, I'm also very focused on my hooks, especially which is the chorus again. Before every time I perform or rap or sing, I let the audience learn the hook, which are quite catchy. So for my performance, that's some of the tips and the pioneers that I keep in mind for my performance. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's powerful, I would say. And now that we're talking about your performances, your stories and all, I've decided that I'm going to add one more thing in my bucket list. And that's definitely go and watch ZT Slingshot perform live. That's definitely going to be there in my bucket list. So
you.
anyway, let's switch things up a little this time. I mean, let's have some fun. I'm just quick answers, not much thinking. It's just super easy to lighten things up a little bit. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to be asking you one word, just one word. I mean, not asking you, but I'm going to say a word each. And every time I say a word, you have to tell me the first song that comes to your mind when you hear that word. Because honestly, a person taste in music says a lot about them. So shall we do that?
Sure. Let's go.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, here's your chance to get to know Mr. Slingshot better. All right? So, yeah, I'm starting now. The first word, fate.
Fate. Rescue by Lauren Daigle.
Wow, I love listening to Lauren Daigle. What a good start, I would say. So, second word, struggle.
Struggle Ocean by Hillsong. Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. All right, so, okay, home.
Home. Home, Step Up 3 Revolution.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this word is cliche, but I think it's a must word that we should use. Love.
Love. Supermarket Flowers by Ed Sheeran.
Beautiful. All right, so when there's love, there's going to be some heartbreaks. So, heartbreak.
Exactly.
All right, listener is thinking.
For that, I'll just say When I Grow Up by NF.
NF.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
When
a
I Grow
song
Up,
I'm yet to listen. I gotta go and check it out for sure. So another word for you, dreams.
Dreams. What's the song? What's that song? I forgot the title. By Coldplay. Lights will guide you home.
Oh yeah, what was that song?
I forgot the title, but that will definitely be the song for that.
I think we have to check that song after the show for sure. I mean the title of the song.
I always listen to it. It's not coming up to my mind right
actually,
now.
I've been playing that song on studio, but I cannot remember. Jena kitewa
Exactly.
in the moment. Ini nahi Jena nam do. What was that song? Wow. Wow, I really want to get the name before
Let's get it.
I think we can do this. It's not Daylight, right? What was that? Yellow by Coldplay. Right? It was Yellow, right?
Yellow.
No.
Different.
It's
Yellow is
Fix
different.
You.
Yes,
Fix
Fix
You.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how can I not remember one of my favorite? Anyway, yes, ladies and
that would
gentlemen.
define dreams,
Yes,
yeah.
Fix You, one of my favorite for sure. Later the favorite because sorom na nam bahuri jado.
Exactly.
Anyway, another round of game coming your way. So this time, let's do a rapid fire round, all right? So just quick answers. No thinking. No thinking.
Is it going to be yes or no?
Just one, two word, one
Okay.
line, but no thinking. Chalo. So, one artist from Nagaland you would love to collaborate with.
Mokokoza.
Wow, that was quick and one of my favorite there again. Another one is favorite hobby outside music.
Football.
Okay. Favorite food that you cannot live without?
I'm a huge fan of galho. Angami galho. I'm obsessed with that galho,
Okay.
yeah.
I think who doesn't love galho, right? So, okay, tea or coffee?
Tea.
Okay. One word that describe your life right now.
Discipline.
Discipline. Okay. Okay. All right. So there we have some games, some fun, quick answer games we just played with our guest, ZT Slingshot. Listeners, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you got to know more about your artist here. Anyway, moving on. Let me ask you this. How do I put this? How has your sound evolved?
I'm a man who explored different kind of genres, and it's a struggle for me to say that this specific is my sound. As an artist, we always love to explore.
Right.
So I'm always open to different kind of genres. So I wouldn't necessarily say I've found my sound, but I'll definitely say that like through the stories that I've told, I'm always eager to explore different kind of genres that will be different kind of sounds, if that's what you meant. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, Nimok Power was definitely one song that I was so looking forward to ask you, and now I know the story. And there's another one that I would love to know is Belief.
Yeah.
Your song Belief. So, what message did you want to share through that particular song?
Like I've said, after Nimok Power blew out, I thought of making another song, but I wanted to, set a foot as a Christian by starting my career with an official song of a Christian song. So Believe, I was going through a lot of struggles, losing my dad, depression, anxiety, and to the point where like suicidal thoughts were also in my mind. So Believe is also almost similar with my song, My Hope. So that two songs go hand in hand.
Right.
So he talks about my faith, losing my faith in God, depression, and then temptations. All those things came out. But through the hard times, my faith will always stay intact, and I'll always believe in God. So that's one of a message that I put out on that song. Yeah.
Right. The more I'm interacting with you, the more I can feel it, that faith clearly guides your journey.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful. I mean, it gives us the direction, the strength, the purpose. And talking to you, listening to your story, it's so clear, that it's faith that's guiding your journey. So anyway, I think it's only fair that we let our listeners enjoy one of your songs as well. We have been talking about your songs, but we are yet to give our listener any of it. So this time, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be listening to an original of ZT Slingshot right here at FM Tragopan, only at 103 megahertz. What I will suggest is crank up the volume of your radio because it's going to be a great one.
Snowflakes are falling, Christmas lights alight. It's a time for joy, for the love, for the cheer. December's here. Winter's in the air, cold nights are falling, but love's everywhere. In the month of Christmas, a time to give. A new month dawns with memories to live. New lights, bright skies, stars align. Born in a manger in Bethlehem. Proclaim the good news and let's celebrate. New month, new vibes, the season's bright. Snowflakes are falling, Christmas lights alight. It's a time for joy, for the love, for the cheer. December's here. Young hearts, old hearts, our homes are filled with laughter. Families unite and friends come near. Time to rejoice and be glad in Him. Shepherds in the fields, angels in the skies. The Savior's birth, a love so true. Sound of carols echo through the night. Church bells ring and the angels sing hymns and melodies. Snowflakes are falling,
And we are back, and I'm pretty sure you enjoyed that song as much as we did here in the studio. I'm gonna be listening to that on repeat mode, I would say, for this month. This month, itu kanado mula theme holeste. I love it so much. Anyway, time is running out, and I've got many more questions to ask our guest. I want to know so much more about him, his journey, and all that. So, yes, ZT Slingshot. It is said that faith keeps you steady, advises, shapes our mindset and all that. So what I want to know, as we have been talking about faith, and also how important is faith in your journey?
As a Christian, that has always been one of my, foundation. It all started Sunday school, youth, and then came along my journeys through Mysore and all of those, the miracles that I've seen, the unseen, untold blessing, the mysteries that God has been, providing, doing a lot of stuff for me. At the same time, I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm always an imperfect being, seeking for His redemption, seeking for His grace. But as a Christian, I'll always talk about God. I'll be verbal with my faith. Though times I know that I sin, but through the forgiveness that I seek from God, I'll be talking about my journeys, my faith, what God has graciously done in my life. So this faith has plays number one role in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? I have been saying this word a lot, but it's just so inspiring and encouraging to hear from you, such young artists talking about faith, talking about God, without being ashamed of it. Noli sorom lagi jai kitiwa do noli bui khai jai noli manu ki babibo ena hui jai na. But you don't stop side there, you have been so open about it, and that's just so inspiring, especially in this day and age. A young artist like you talking about God, about faith. Really, it's really inspiring, and I personally pray that may He continue to use you, may He continue to guide you in every journey of yours. All right, so what's the best advice you have received?
I think I was in my 7th or 8th standard. I can vividly remember my dad and we were taking a walk. Yeah, he was just taking me out. And then my dad was also a huge sports person, and we were talking about that. And then earlier I've talked about discipline, so it all came from my father's trait. Back then I also really loved sports. He gave me some tips about not to have this, not to eat that, not to do that, things that are good for your body's nutrients, lots of foods, lot of restrictions. And it all came down to discipline. So that will be, and I'm following that trait till to this day. Though sometimes I missed it out. Most of my days are more of discipline, being on time, doing things professionally. I'll just say discipline, yeah.
Right.
The advice that I got from my dad.
Right. It's simple, it's powerful, and I believe, young artists needs to hear this now more than ever, I would say. And so what advice would you give to the young dreamers out there?
To never give up. Life will always throw you a lot of problems, a lot of hurdles, a lot of challenges. I've faced all those, and I'm still facing them. I'm still a struggling artist. But one thing that I never did is never give up. I've never gave up on my dreams. I've never stopped chasing my dreams. I know it's so hard as a musician, especially out here, maybe in the Northeast or in our state, to grow as an artist. But it's possible. It's possible. And I'll just say never give up. Yeah.
Right. Never give up. Indeed. And also we got to remember that artists are human too, not just performer. And that matters
exactly.
too. And also indeed hard works definitely pays off, right? So what's something people don't know about you?
I think most people know about me because I'm a very open, sociable person. I reply to a lot of DMs that I get on my social. I love to interact with people and have a close, intimate relationship with everyone. So I update my weird, funny side, me as a sports person, guys. So I think there's not much that I hide from people. I'm very open with it, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so how do you handle pressure? Because I'm pretty sure, being a young artist, pressure to take away. So how do you handle pressure?
When it's too much for me, at the end of the day, I always go and pray. So prayer played an important role when it comes to prayers. I always seek the help from God. So I'll just say prayer, yeah.
Right. Okay, so all right, we are nearing to the end of our program. So but before we wrap everything up, we would love to know, where can we, the fans, find you on social platforms?
I use ZT Slingshot on all the platforms.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's for the Instagram, YouTube and everything.
Every Facebook, everything. Yeah.
So listeners, there you go, ZT Slingshot. You can go to your Instagram, it's just one click away. Just go follow him, support him. YouTube to by Joe, I guess. So yes, there you are, ZT Slingshot it is, all right? And right, so any final message for your listeners, your fans out there who are tuning with us right now, listening to you?
To the ones that have been supporting, sharing my music, commenting, a lot of loves that I've received, thank you for being there. And to the ones that haven't heard of me, do check out my stories, which are in the songs. You might or might not also relate, but do share it to someone you know. I love to inspire and tell my stories. That's who I am and that's what I do. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you for your time. You're a busy man, but you still made your time. You still came to our studio. And I'm pretty sure not just me, you have inspired them. You have encouraged them. We have, we have gotten to know a lot more about you. And it's just beautiful. It's amazing. And I'm truly humbled, I would say. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me as well. It's been an honor.
Right. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, this evening we did not just hear music, but we also heard faith, we heard the struggles, and we heard the growth. A journey shaped by purpose and truth. And as the Bible reminds us that He has made everything beautiful in its own timing. And today, as we talk with ZT Slingshot, we are gently reminded that God's timing is never late, it is always perfect, and learning to trust Him and His timing is part of the journey. Well, yup, ZT Slingshot is more than upcoming. He's resilient, he's rooted, he's rising. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been your Imperfect Harmony on FM Tragapan, only at 103 megahertz, straight from the heart of Akashvani Kohima. I'm your RJ Kenny, signing off with ZT Slingshot, a man driven by faith, shaped by real experiences, and grounded in purpose, not just voice. Thank you for staying with us this evening. Until next time, keep the harmony alive.
Yo, I wanna entertain, just wanna put a smile on your face. Say my grace and let me start. Yeah, with my vocal, I'm going local. Listen up, yo. Ajikali lockdown thaki kene olo pakala hui ase naki nijor kebi babi kene mental huishin naki kile hoile jakali din to nijor kebi kotha na kore hoile bi iteto class test aise koile nijor kebi kotha sotha kuriya shuru hoise chokra chokri baba ama korte thake kan family kan sob bala se na hoili bala se ke sabido question hodibo nijor kebi reply kuriya shuru hoise aji ki kam kurishe kwa kudishe well kudishe kaishe aru ato laga from the jaikine kaishe wapas ahishe gana itu babishe are shek wato olop chakasan laga dialect mishna seu exemina gumashe na hoi bangalshe narashe aji no moto na hoide moito chakasan ase day proud to be a naga chakasan when be so mani when be itiato nimog laga kota olop kobo ase day chakasan kan bishitan moi babeto chakasan background pra celebrities bishi olai shinaki nana hoi kobo nam Shahrukh Khan Salman Khan Amir Khan aya nimog power bishitan bacha time the stop manu laga favorite superhero kote olai shekwa chakasan kwa nam kobo Shaktiman nimog power bishitan switch yeah switch tisoto zopotizoto uko chakasan za zopotizoto vemo zomo vele zopotizoto mutsak fusis mukaseto tido ozo krekre kuzuri mukaseto bone ane mizino body switch yeah neme zivitai never buzz zivitai never please zivitai neme deki vule bakali headroom chik dapile neme ajo leriki hi vule moi uncle kobiki ji ali raka kajoi raka mekeke sike kiji ali tapi switch cause try me raw take a hit with that roll mobile legend look for a beshele die road chipa cause to run here beshele dialogue se modio aja video anana me yete iwe meze nguchi video yeah zoto zake we zoto so na to so meza mo so na to me we lole keja koja mi run here ke luke ze tsihini ke de ke wo be meji tsikeni ro himenye di lole yeah kejebe.
Please like and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell for the latest contents. Also, follow us on all our social media handles.